Hey, and welcome to another episode of Gone for the Win. This should be a very fun episode. It's just me and Dan today. Dan, how's it going?
It's going good. Just been busy doing my end of the year lists and working a lot, and dealing with the holidays and stuff like that. Went to wrestling on Monday, so it's been kind of a busy week.
Um, but yeah, it's been kind of a busy week for me too. For not this not making lists thing. I've just been working a lot and catching up whenever I could. But we're here. We've got a bit to talk about, but a lot of it is a lot of these smaller like guilds and stuff, like makeup and stuff like that. We've got these shortlists, and we've got the predictions for the Critics' Choice Awards, which is tomorrow. So I'm going to start off with the shortlists. Wherever possible, I might tie in the shortlists with one of the guilds that we're going to be talking about at the same time, just save time. But the first of the shortlist we got is the new category that the Oscars are bringing out, which is casting. And on the shortlist is we have Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Surat, Weapons, and Wicked for Good. Dan, what are your thoughts about what's on the shortlist for casting?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think this is pretty good. I mean, I would have liked to have seen maybe something else other than The Secret Agent in there, but I think it's a pretty good list. I mean, this is kind of going to be five best picture nominees in a lot of ways. And I don't know if they're going to go the way of the SAGs, but it's looking like it could potentially be five best picture nominees, and probably one of those five are going to win this, maybe split best picture in this, or go hand in hand with best picture. Whereas One Battle, because it looks like it's pretty cut and clear right now. One Battle After Another is going to win best picture. So it'd be interesting to see if they go hand in hand, or if they go with something like a Weapons, or some of the smaller casts like Sentimental Value or Hamnet or something like that. Because we've seen like Coda win best ensemble at the SAG, so we don't know what exactly that they're going to go for, but this is pretty good. I mean, I myself like this grouping pretty good. I may not have had a Secret Agent in here, but at the top of my head, I forget what I would put in there, but I like it.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty good bunch of like ones here. Like, I kind of thought we would have got like Superman in here, maybe. Like just something that's not typically probably going to be nominated for for best picture. But it's one of those ones like and it's worth noting we don't know if this award is specifically looking at the ensemble or if it's the actual casting. The Oscars have been very not unclear on how to go, so it's really hard to predict on what five. But if I was going to make it like a five guess here, I'd probably say maybe we'll see like Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Wicked for Good, and maybe Marty Supreme. But
those are the bigger casts.
Yeah.
Five bigger casts, and they're not going to go for the littler casts.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those hard tales like something like Hamlet I could see sneaking in because, well, yes, it is a small cast. It is a pretty high-profile cast at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I said about Sentimental Value and Hamnet are very high-profile casts or smaller casts, but like casting some of the like Ib's daughter, she's a nobody that we ever heard of, but she's amazing in the movie.
Yeah,
this little, even though it's a 4, 5, 6 person cast, it's that they really they really are a pretty good cast. And same thing, like you said, with Hamnet, the kids, and obviously The Mother by Emily Watson, you know what I mean? So you don't know what the criteria is because they haven't done this before. We can only go off of the SAG, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's one of those ones and talking about like small but like high profile casts, like I'm surprised Bugoni didn't make it into the short list. And even Jay Kelly, which isn't really a small cast, but there's a little like Adam Sandler, George Clooney, and a bunch of other known people in there. It's like neither of them made the short list, which is surprising. But it's also one of those ones that it's good to see international features sneaking like getting in here as well. Because I think it just shows the strength of those movies for Best Picture. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But moving on, we've got cinematography on the shortlist for cinematography. We've got Ballad of a Small Player, Bugonia, Die My Love, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nouvelle Vague, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Surratt, Song Sung Blue, Sound of Falling, Train Dreams, Wicked for Good. Dan, but actually, I'll start off here. Yeah, this is a good bunch of good mix of ones here. It's like I did finally get around to seeing Die My Love. It's like look, it's a weird movie. I don't really know what it's about, but like there was some scenes which I did appreciate the cinematography of, but there was also some scenes where it was so dark you could not make out what was going on. I'm also pleasantly surprised and happy to see Song Sung Blue here. Like, I think that's a very great movie. I saw it for the first, like, I saw it the other day actually. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie. And it's one of those ones like I know we're not talking about the lead categories now. It's like if the lead categories weren't as stacked as they are, I would have been predicting Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson to get nominated because I think they were fantastic in the movie. But anyway, on to the back there. It's like, and yeah, who knows what 5 this is going to go. Is like Train Dreams. I think like well, I'm not at that as high on that movie as other people seem to be. I think it's still the cinematography is still really good in it. One Battle After Another, obviously, I think is great. I think that's one that's definitely getting nominated. And I think the cinematography Frankenstein is pretty good as well. But yeah, but Dan, what are your thoughts about the cinematography shortlist?
Yeah, this is a pretty good. This is a pretty good list, and they got some foreign films in here again. Again with Surratt. Surratt made a lot of these short lists, which is interesting. I saw Surratt, beautiful movie. Like you said, Train Dreams is absolutely gorgeous. I was glad that they got the black and white. They cinematography category loves black and white, and so they went with Nouvelle Vague here, which to me it was happy. I'm happy because I think it's one of the best cinematography movies of the year. I mean, it literally looks like they captured a Godard movie. And they captured like the essence of what Breathless looks like. So I was glad to see Netflix, a lot of Netflix movies in here for cinematography. And the one that people are up in arms about is Jay Kelly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I watched that movie and I don't think the cinematography is all that, But like you said, Frankenstein and some of the One Battle After Another, these are going to be the ones that are going to be nominated. They are going to be nominated. It's just a matter of do they go with the foreign cinematographer movies like Surratt and stuff like that and Nouvelle Vague, or they just stick with what potentially could be best picture contenders like Train Dreams, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones with Surratt, like, it's been popping up a lot in cinematography, so that, like, and there is precedent that foreign language films have gotten into cinematography before, like there's Cold War a few years ago and stuff like
Yes.
that. So even if Surratt doesn't get into Best Picture, I could see Surratt still getting into cinematography. So,
No, that's a good call. Very good call.
um, especially with the fact that a lot of people, it's coming up a lot of places in cinematography. So yeah. But moving on, keep forgetting that the Variety article has a whole lot of stuff afterwards. We've got documentary feature, which I don't know if they always done shortlists for documentary feature, or is this the first time doing it?
Honestly, Malcolm, I don't remember. I apologize.
Well, yeah, because I know cinematography has never been a shortlist before. But anyway, on the shortlist of documentary feature, we've got the Alabama Solution, Apocalypse in the Tropics, Coexistence My Ass, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cover Up, Cutting Through the Rocks, Folk Tales, Holding Liat, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, Mistress Dispeller, My Undesirable Friends Part 1 last year in Moscow, The Perfect Neighbor, Seeds, 2,000 Meters to Andrifica, and Yanui. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the documentary shortlist?
Yeah, I've seen about half of these, and I can see this list. I mean, even though I'm not The Perfect Neighbor, I'm not a fan of The Perfect Neighbor. I've come out on record and said that it's a hold your ground law documentary in the county that I live in Florida, Malcolm. Literally, that took place in the county that I live in Florida, Volusia County, Florida. Um, it, I just am not a fan of the look of the movie and on the message the movie's going for. I mean, but I am a massive fan of 2,000 meters to Avdiivka, and everybody I've talked to who finally had a chance to see that are blown away by how realistic it is. You literally are in war. You're watching these guys take this little forest leading to this town, and guys are getting killed, and people. It just and you're the guy holding the camera. You're the journalist, and you're getting shot. You're getting shot at, Malcolm. It's just that's the kind of movie I just when it talk about documentary, that's the kind of movie that really stands out to me. Like I also like Apocalypse in the Tropics. I thought that was good. The Alabama Solution. We have a real problem in America with our prison system. These are films with messages. And I just don't think The Perfect Neighbor gives the right message about the stand your ground law. I think it's kind of making a mistake with the message it's trying to give. And I don't think it's a very good movie. And it doesn't even look that good to me, but that's just me. A couple of these, I'm surprised to see in here because there's a couple other ones I would have liked to have seen in here, but what are you going to do? I mean, documentary branch, we always say, you never know what the heck. Usually they kick out the most popular one. So I'm surprised that The Perfect Neighbor ended up on the short list.
I mean, it could so we get kicked out. Like, it is only the short list. Only 5 of these are going to get nominated. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like they're definitely like the heavy favorites seem to be like perfect. Like it's one of those ones like Perfect Neighbor. Like, well, yes, it is the popular documentary. I do still see it potentially getting into that 5. Like, because I think it's like still the Michael J. Fox movie is like it's one of those ones that's coming up a lot, but I could see it maybe sneaking in there. I don't. If it does, I don't see it winning.
And real quick, the John Candy doc is my favorite among all the celebrity docs and the music docs and stuff like that. And I really like Led Zeppelin quite a bit, but of course, they're not on the list. But they just do not go for the celebrity docs, do they?
Well, I mean, because I think if I remember, because it's one of those ones like because I think they might have done documentary feature shortlists before actually, but so I think still made it onto shortlist that year. So it's one of those ones like, well, yes, like I wouldn't have predicted a celebrity doc to be nominated. I'm surprised, like something like the John Candy one, or Becoming Led Zeppelin, it didn't even make the shortlist.
Terrible.
Because I'm pretty sure Superman did that year that came out. So
Last year. So that answered the question, Mac. As we've been talking about, we answered our own question because we have seen the documentary Shortlist a few years in a row,
yeah,
and we're upset about how things didn't go the way we wanted them to go.
yeah. But moving on, I'm not going to bother with the short lists
Because
because
none of us have seen them, so it's hard to talk about things you haven't
yeah.
seen.
International feature though, we've got Berlin from Argentina, The Secret Agent from Brazil, It Was Just an Accident from France, Sound of Falling from Germany, Homebound from India, The President's Cake from Iraq, Coco Ho by Japan, All That's Left of You from Jordan, Sentimental Valley from Norway, Palestine 36 from Palestine, No Other Choice from South Korea, Surat from Spain, Late Shift from Switzerland, Left-Handed Girl from Taiwan, and The Voice of Hindrajab from Tunisia. Um, Look, the international feature is one of those races which I think is pretty straightforward. I don't think there's much surprise left that there's a cabin. So I think it's going to be like The Secret Agent. It was just an accident. Sentimental Value, No Other Choice, and then either Surat or Left-Handed Girl. Both of those have been coming up a lot. I would probably lean towards slightly Surat, especially if Surat's going to get in cinematography in that. But yeah, I think the international race, I think, is kind of over because I think that's the 5 that's getting in. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the international shortlists?
Yeah, if those 5 get in, they're all neon movies, and then that'd be a precedent that has never been set before. 5 films from the same distributor get into one category. That'd be an crazy situation. That's why I'm kind of, and because Sean Baker and his co-writer and sometimes filmmaker is behind Left-Handed Girl, and Sean Baker won last year with he won 4 Oscars last year for Anora. Maybe they would put Left-Handed Girl in here. I mean, I love Left-Handed Girl. I absolutely love Left-Handed Girl. I loved all these movies. I'll be honest with you. I liked more of them better than It Was Just an Accident, but it seems like because of the narrative behind that film, that was just going to get in. So you're right, Malcolm. It's a 6-horse race. You don't know which 6 are going to get in. Are they going to give all 5 of the slots to Neon, or is Netflix going to sneak something in there? We'll see. But yeah, it's pretty much down to them 6.
Yeah. But moving on, makeup and hairstyling. So on the shortlist, we got for makeup and hairstyling, we got the Alto Knights, we got Frankenstein, we got Coco Ho, the international film from Japan we talked about earlier, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Barrel After Another, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, The Ugly Stepsister, and Wicked for Good. I remember talking about this last time because Wolf was talking about The Ugly Stepsister for
I was too.
I can't remember which. It might have been when we were talking about the Critics' Choice Awards or the Globes. Globes I drew a makeup category. It would have been Critics' Choice. Yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts about the shortlist for makeup and hairstyling?
Well, you're always going to get a surprise in here. Okay, I will tell you that. That's Alto Knights. That's like Waltzing with Brando last year. No, like what's Waltzing with Brando? I've seen Waltzing with Brando since, and it's amazing the job they've done on Billy Zane. But De Niro plays 2 characters, 2 different gangsters, and so that's why the makeup is in here for that. But it didn't get the best of reviews. But I want to champion The Ugly Stepsister. I am so happy this got in here. I would be through the moon if this could get into the 5. If you've seen this movie, Malcolm, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It is some of the most gruesome makeup and hairstyling you'll have ever seen. You know, we talk about the substance last year and how, you know, because of, you know, body horror and stuff like that. This movie just, it, you know, we're all around Hollywood. We watch movies, we watch TV, we're watching stuff all the time, and it just tells you, man, what women will go through to try to be like perfect. You know what I mean? And it is I cannot recommend it enough for that reason, Malcolm. Other than that, the movie is really hard to watch because it's really cringeworthy and it's really difficult. The story, it's basically a story of Cinderella, but the other ones are par for the course. You know, I mean, nothing else surprised me in here.
Talking about women, one thing that surprised me it wasn't here. Rippins. Where the hell is Rippins? How the hell are Rippins not get into
Malcolm,
the short
you're
list?
right. You're so right. You're so right, Malcolm. I forgot all about that. Oh my God, where is Amy Madigan in here? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those ones like I think the 5 is probably going to be Wicked for Good. I think the makeup is still really good at it and all
well,
that.
You got to look at the Tin Man now and the Scarecrow. Yeah. Those are the two new.
Well, I mean, Scarecrow. I don't know if it's more makeup or costume. Tin Man is definitely mostly makeup.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wicked for Good. The Smashing Machine. I think like it's probably going to be the sole nomination it's going to get. And I do think the makeup is really good in the movie. The Frankenstein, for sure.
I didn't talk about it because it was obvious. That was so obvious.
Yeah. And then look, without Rippins here, maybe the Ugly Stepsister gets in, and maybe Alto Knights gets in. It's probably going to get nominated for Razzies as well. But look, I will say, I do think the makeup at least is good in Alto Knights. But so yeah, because it's one of those ones like, while I do like One Better After the I actually One Better After Another, I think could actually scratch there. One Better After the Other, I think will get that 5th slot because that especially the makeup on Sean Penn, who's sort of coming down after being and that I think is good. But I should have done this before we sort of started talking about it. But I'm going to sort of transition to the Makeup and Hairstyling Guild Awards that came out the other day as well. So for contemporary makeup, we've got Begonia, Eddington, Jurassic World Rebirth, One Battle After Another, and Superman. What are your thoughts about the 5 for contemporary makeup?
That's interesting to me. I mean, what would be the makeup in Jurassic Park, for Jurassic World?
Well, I mean, it's probably just like this the makeup on the faces and stuff, and maybe dirt and all that. I mean, yeah, I'm struggling to figure that out. But yeah, but I mean, I don't have any too much issues with this. It just goes to show like how much there hasn't really been a lot of stellar contemporary makeup. Apparently, if Jurassic World Rebirth can get in.
Yeah, I would say so. You're right about that.
It doesn't really matter ultimately because the only one that's on the shortlist is One Battle After Another.
So it's probably One Battle is going to win most likely.
Well, I mean, it depends because I do think the makeup in Begonia is pretty good. So
good point.
Yeah, because I think it's one of those ones. It's just contemporary makeup, so it's just like the makeup on the face and stuff. It's like, I think it's just one of those everyday type of things. But moving on to period and character makeup, which is where I think a lot of these nominations are going to happen at the Oscars, because we've got Frankenstein, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, Weapons, and Wicked for Good. So 4 out of these 5 are on the shortlist. So, which leads to my theory that maybe we're probably going to get Frankenstein, Sinners, Smashing Machine, Wicked for Good, and maybe another, and maybe one of them get knocked out for The Ugly Stepsister. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the period and character makeup?
Yeah, this is mainly the films you would think of for makeup and hairstyling. You got Weapons in here, no Ugly Stepsister, but that is an indie film, so maybe they have a category for indie films. I'm not sure. You know better than me.
Not that I know of.
They don't.
But yeah.
Oh, they don't. Okay, so then maybe I don't get it. I don't know why Ugly Stepsister isn't in here, but this is probably going to be what you said, 4 out of the 5, or maybe Ugly Stepsister sneaks in and makes it the 5.
But moving, we've got makeup prosthetics, which is Frankenstein, One Better After Another, Sinners, Weapons, and Wicked for Good. We've talked a lot about all of those anyway. I don't think we've got much more to add on those.
No, but that's prosthetics would be one. Ugly Stepsister again would be in there for that.
I think it's maybe it's just a case of the school just didn't see it in time, or they just didn't submit it to this specific guild. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, no, I got you. It came out in April, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah. But moving on to contemporary hairstyling, we nominated for the hairstyling. We've got Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, Naked Gun, One Battle After Another, and Superman. Once again, coming with hair and just being contemporary stuff, this is the kind of stuff you would expect.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be like a period piece or something. Was there just no notable period pieces out there that you can think of?
Well, they've got a character for a period piece.
Oh,
period.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
But onto period and character hairstyling, is Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Sinners, Weapons, and Wicked for Good, which is once again the stuff that you would expect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next one. Also, just on a side note, 28 years later, not making the shortlist for makeup and hairstyling for the Oscars as well is a little bit surprising. No, I didn't expect to be nominated. I kind of expected it on the shortlist, but that is what it is.
Remember the Alphas looked crazy, and then Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, you're right about that, Malcolm. I didn't think about it. I got the Bone Temple next week, so we'll see how that holds up.
But moving on to original score, we've got Avatar, Fire and Ash, composed by Simon Franklin, Begonia by Justin Fendricks, Captain America Brave New World from Laura Cartman, the score for Diane Warren, Relentless, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Hedda, A House of Dynamite, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surat, Train Dreams, Tron Ares, Truth and Treason, which is from Angel Studios, which is surprising enough.
Yeah, I saw it last week. I just caught up with it last week. It's good. Got a good score.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's funny the fact that Angel Studios is on the shortlist for an Oscar.
It might be on the shortlist next year for animated feature. You never know with Animal Farm. I've already seen Animal Farm, by the way. I'm under embargo for it. I can't say a word.
Yeah. And we've also got Wake Up Dead Man from A Knives Out Mystery, and then Wicked for Good. This is. I think this is a really interesting bunch. Like Captain America: Brave New World, I think the score's good, but I didn't. Out of all the Marvel movies that came out, Fantastic Four, I think, should have been here instead.
Yeah.
if you're going to get a short Marvel movie on the shortlist of score, or even Thunderbolts, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't get it.
but
I don't get it.
I mean, I don't think it's. But
And then
yeah, I think
Diane
that.
Warren, come on, really the score for Diane Warren's documentary? God,
But yeah, but I do like it's one of those ones like look at is a lot of these
it's a good
big names.
category. It's a good.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah,
a lot of good ones in there. So it's not like it's you 5 easy picks here. You got about 8 or 9 good choices to choose from.
oh
But then
yeah,
you got some real like what head scratchers, right?
yeah. There's like I think the head scratchers have no chance. But I do think we're going to see something like Begonia in the mix. F1's going to be in the mix. Frankenstein's going to be in the mix. Hamnet. House of Dynamite, maybe.
Tron Ares is going to be. It should be. It's the matter of whether Tron Ares and House of Dynamite would be a one-off nomination, and they don't want to give a one-off nomination. They want to give it to something else that's got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nominations, and that's where that would come in, right?
What I was about to say is like there's a lot of heavy hitters here. I don't see something like Tron Ares just sneaking in. There's like Surat, Sinners, One Man Off Another, Marty Supreme, which I think a lot of people have been raising the score for. It doesn't come out until later. So yeah. So there's definitely a lot of good scores. Nothing that I think is missing that I can think of off the top of my head. But Dan, what are your thoughts about this list?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been talking about House of Dynamite for forever, and I love the score. But it just sounds just like the Conclave score, so I don't think that's going to get in. Plus, it would be a one-off. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, they do a great job. That we've seen them win before. They've been nominated before, but that would be a one-off for Tron Ares, and that's basically the main thing in the movie that people talk about is the music, you know what I mean, and the score and stuff. So that would be a one-off. Then you got the head scratchers, so you can eliminate basically those 4 right there. But like you said, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein. I mean, F1, One Battle After. You got Johnny Green. You got those are the main one. But you got Surratt. Are they going to go with Surratt? Because score has been something that's been people have been talking about with Surratt. Surratt has been sneaking into a lot of these below the line categories, like we mentioned. So you don't know if Surratt's going to get into score or not. Are they going to go with one of the foreign films, or are they going to go strictly with the American releases with the big heavy Warner Brothers, Disney, 20th Century Fox, that kind of stuff, because you still have Avatar there. So you don't know if they're going to go for all the heavy hitters or not. But this list is pretty stacked, I have to say.
Yeah. And it's just one of those ones like I was actually reading up about what Variety had in their sort of blurb under it. Like one of the big surprising scores that was sort of snubbed was from the winner of the score last year, Daniel Bloomberg. Testament and Ann Lee was shut out from the
that seemed like it wasn't getting in anywhere, Malcolm. It's like either they never saw the movie or they just had some kind of a bias against it, because it didn't get in anywhere. And then if Amanda Seyfried doesn't get nominated, it could get completely shut out of the Academy Awards.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I think with the lead actress category, I think it's a very like tough one for anyone to sneak in. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to get anywhere, to be honest. But funnily enough, other snub that they did mention Fantastic Four that I mentioned earlier when talking about Marvel, but I mean, Variety thinks Zootopia 2 score should have gotten
okay.
as well as Ballad of a Small Player, which was also done by Volker Bertelmann.
That's right, Mike. 2 Volker Bertelmanns this year. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
What's the next category? The next category is original song. So on the shortlist for original song, we've got As Alive as You Need Me to Be from Tron Ares for 9 Inch Nails, Dear Me from Diane Rowan, Dream as One from Avatar, Fire and Ash, sung by Miley Cyrus. Drive, sung by Ed Sheeran. Dying to Live from Billy Idol, Should Be Dead. Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Highest to Lowest from Highest to Lowest. I Lied to You from Sinners. Last Time I Seen the Sun from Sinners. No Place Like Home from Wicked for Good. Our Love from The Ballad of Wallace Island. Salt, then Sour, then Sweet from Come See Me in the Good Light. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, which I have no idea what the hell that is. And then Train Dreams from Train Dreams. But yeah, so yeah, we've got two movies here that's got like double nominations, Wicked for Good and Sinners. I really don't think we're going to see both of those songs get in. Which I mean, I'd Lie to You, I think, is the obvious one for Sinners is going to get in because that's the one that's been winning a few places. Wicked is a tricky one. No Place Like Home, I think, is the popular choice that potentially could get in. And we'll get into that when we get into the critics' choice because that was the only one that was nominated there. But yeah, I do think for sure we get Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. At least one of the Wicked for Good song. Which one I don't know. I'll be surprised if both of them get in, honestly. And then look, Dear Me from Dying One, I think could get in. I'm still there's one of those tricky ones because any other year I would be on board with the Dying One get in regardless because she is relentless. But this is a year where I can see her being left out for both Drive from F1 and Dreamers One from Avatar getting into rounding out that 5. So it's definitely an interesting thing that could happen here. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the shortlist for the original song?
Yeah, Malcolm, you basically took the words right out of my mouth. You have to count Diane Warren in because we haven't seen any stats where she doesn't get in over the last however many years. But like you said, do they want to get celebrities singing these songs? Ed Sheeran, Miley Cyrus at the Academy Awards singing songs for Drive and Avatar. That would be amazing. That'd be good for them to get these stars to sing those songs. But like, how do you get? And I'm right with you. I don't see both Avatar songs and I don't see both Cinder songs. I see one of each. And I think you nailed it. But I would go for The Girl in the Bubble more so than the other song, even though the other song made the critics' choice, like you said. I still think because that's more. I don't like either song. I'll be honest with you. I don't like either song, but I just feel like that might be the one that might get in if either of them get in. And like you said, the one song from Sinners. So I think it's pretty cut and dry here. I think it's 5. You can narrow this thing down to 5 right now, but you never know. You just don't know if some crazy things might happen, which usually don't happen. You never know.
Well, I mean, as I said, it's one of those ones like because the couple of outliers there which may sort of somehow get in because there's always usually a surprise and there's like no one because I think a few years ago no one thought the Killers of the Flower Moon would get a song into the original song and then that got in. So I could see maybe Our Love from the Ballad of Wallace Island, just something that no one is predicting, sneak
That'd
in.
be beautiful. I love it. I love the song. I love the movie. So that'd be amazing to me.
But we're going to take a little bit of tangent because we've also got the Society of Composers and Lyricists Award, which is different from the one we took the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, but this is all done by like composers and stuff. But for outstanding original score for a studio film, we've got Ludwig Göransson from Sinners, Alexandra Desplat from Frankenstein, Johnny Greenwood from One Battle After Another, Stephen Schwartz and John Powell for Wicked for Good, Max Richter from Hamnet, and Jerskin Fendrix from Begonia, which is kind of the standard match. Like there's at least Sinners, things on one bit or another have been predicted a lot. And all of these all of these are on that shortlist for score as well. So all of these are definitely in the mix. So, but Dan, what are your thoughts about the outstanding original score for studio film?
Yeah, I mean, this is if you had to narrow this down to 5, it's going to come down to these 6 for the 5. It's just pretty obvious for me. That's why I said I don't think score or song are pretty. Like, score's a deep category, but you kind of can narrow it down, because if you look at the best picture contenders, you just kind of pick 5 of the best picture contenders, and boom, you got your 5. And they're all these 6. So, and songs the other thing, where it's pretty simple for songs. Songs really not a great category this year either. So, but yeah, this is pretty obvious to me. These 6 make complete sense.
But yeah, moving and then we've also got outstanding original score for an independent film. We've got Dara Taylor for Straw, Bryce Dessner from Train Dreams, David Fleming from Eternity, Fabrizio Mancinelli from Out of the Nest, John C. and Alex Summers from Rental Family, Sarah Barone and Robert Christensen from To Kill a Wolf. Like, Train Dreams is the only one on the short list and for the independent film. I will say I was surprised that Surratt didn't get into either of these. I would imagine it would have been independent, if anything, but yeah, nothing much to really say on that.
No. But I did like to hear Rental Family get in there. I'm a big supporter of Rental Family.
Yeah. But we've got outstanding original song for a dramatic or documentary visual media production, which is not just movies, it's just anything which has songs. We've got Dear Me from Diane Warren, Last Time I Seen the Sun from Sinners, I Lied to You from Sinners, Salt Then Sour Then Sweet from Come and See Me in the Good Light, The Halls of Chico from the Wheel of Time TV series, and then Drive from F1. Once again, with the exception of Real Trump, which is a TV show which wouldn't have been on the shortlist of the Oscars anyway, all of these are on the shortlist. So all these are definitely in the mix.
Yep.
And then outstanding original song for comedy or musical visual media production. We've got Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. No Place Like Home from Wicked for Good, Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, Steve's Lava Chicken from a Minecraft movie, I Feel Alive from a Minecraft movie, and Zoo from Zootopia, which I'm actually surprised that wasn't on the shortlist. But at least Golden and the 2 Wicked songs are on the shortlist. Steve's Lava Chicken is a fun song. It's not winning in this category, yeah, hopefully, but it is what it is. But yeah,
this is Zoo. Yeah, Zoo would be a surprise if it got in. It can't get in because it didn't make the short list. But you got the 5. You got the 5 that I basically predicted that would be the 5 that gets nominated for best song. So there you go.
Yeah, and then all the other categories are TV related, which I'm not going to bother with. Moving on to the next of the shortlists. Once I get past that, and once we get past animated short film, live action short film, sound. On the shortlist for sound, we've got Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Frankenstein, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surratt, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Superman, and Wicked for Good. But yeah, this is one of those ones that like, once again, like the other year where Civil War was left out of sound. Warfare, once again, the Oscars just hate Alex Garland for some reason, but
I thought it was war movies were like almost an automatic for this category. I don't get it.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
the
to be fair,
explosions in this movie and stuff were crazy. Go ahead.
I mean, to be fair, both Warfare and Civil War, they were released earlier in the year as well, so they probably were just forgotten about it. So,
Yeah, no, good point. You make a good
um,
point.
but um, but based on what is on the short list, like um, things like F1, I think it is a show in. One battle after another, I think, is going to get in. Sinners, a music movie is going to get in. I've heard a lot of good things about the sound in Surat, so I wouldn't be surprised if that gets in here somehow. And then either Wicked for Good or Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere, both musicals, music movies. I think they both could get in as well. So, and then I mean, this is one of those categories where I can see a world in which any five of these get nominated, and I'd be fine for it. It's like there's nothing that I don't think shouldn't be here. And yeah, but then what are your thoughts about this shortlist lineup?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta lean towards nominate best picture nominated films in sound because they tend to go with five from that. So, I mean, if you do you have five potential best picture nominated films in here? That's the first question. And the second question is you got a racing movie, might as well put that in there because racing movies always do good in sound. Um, and music documentaries or musicals always do good in sound. So you could put one of those in there. So you can start to narrow it down. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not really like without Warfare in here. I'm kind of have no dog in the fight for me because I love Warfare and that's sad that didn't make the list. But
And one thing I will say is Rickard showing up a lot in these shortlists is making me confident that it's still going to get into Best Picture.
Wow, interesting.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones that I think it could. I think, like just like the last one, I think Wicked for Good could still get in a lot of these like technicals. So it's like, so um, it's one of those cases where I think if it gets in, it'll be like the 10th spot or something. But it's like, I think it's like the fact it's come up a lot in these shortlists. I think it's showing that it's at least going to be a very technical, like nominated movie.
Well, you can't. Yeah, that's the one thing you got to remember. These two movies was filmed at the exact same time. One was filmed, then they took maybe a month off, and then they went back and did the rest. And so everything's the same. All the technical things are the same. So they can't really say, "Oh, this technical thing is different than that technical thing."
Yeah.
And the sound is going to be the sound. Cinema. They may have in post production they could have fixed a little bit of cinematography or the color grading or whatever. But like production designs, the same costumes, the same makeups, the same. You know what I mean? And they add a couple new songs for the new movie, and they didn't have that. And then so you add a couple songs, so that might get it. But it's a technical marvel no matter how you look at it, and you hit the nail on the head. It could get in a bunch of below the line categories. You're absolutely right.
But and the last shortlist we have is visual effects. We've got Avatar: Fire and Ash. Got the Electric State somehow. Well, I will look.
A lot of big robots and stuff.
I will give it some props. Look, the movie's shit, but the visual effects I do think is good.
Yeah.
F1, Frankenstein, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Sinners, Superman, Tron Ares, and Wicked for Good. And yeah, like this is visual effects has always been one of those ones that is quite common, the big budget ones a lot of the times. So I think we're probably going to get like Avatar: Fire and Ash in there. I think that's going to get in. Frankenstein we're probably going to get in. Jurassic World Rebirth I wouldn't be surprised if we get in.
No, not surprised. Superman.
Yeah, Superman for sure. And then either Tron Ares or Wicked for Good, either one of them I think could get in. I've still got to see Tron Ares. It's going to be on Disney Plus in a few days, so I'll just catch it then.
The surprise is Fantastic Four, though, right, Malcolm? I mean, you think Marvel movies always make this list, right? This will be the first
I
year
mean,
a Marvel movie
yeah,
has
there's
visual
well,
effects.
I mean, it's the first year that it hasn't been on the shortlist because as we've been said like a few times, like Fantastic Four, the like there's probably that controversy with the CGI baby, which is what stopped it getting onto the shortlist. I mean, I think the controversy is stupid, but if that's the reason it didn't get in, it didn't get. That's why it didn't get in. But even then, Thunderbolts, I think had good visual effects.
Yeah.
Look, say what you want about Captain America: Brave New World. I think the Hulk, like the Red Hulk, transforming scenes, I think it was good. And I think they had a lot of good visual effects too. So it's like, so either one of them could have been on here, and I would have been happy. But yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know if Marvel's always made the shortlists. I don't think it has always been
Feels like a Marvel film's always made the short list. Doesn't always make the 5 in the Academy Awards, but feels like they always have a film in the short list. But
yeah, I don't know. I would have to go back through the shortlist to find out, which I'm not going
in
to.
this whole conversation is mute anyways, because we know Avatar Fire and Ash is going to win this thing. It's going to get nominated and it's going to win. It's hands down. You don't even have to talk about it anymore, right, Malcolm?
No. So, well, I mean, it's one of those ones. Like, yeah, like based on what's on the shortlist, like I think it's easy to predict that Avatar and Fire and Ash is winning. But it's also one of those ones like if they think something is stronger, I would be surprised if they give it to something else. Because Avatar: The Way of Water won the last one when they were last in there. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things because because you're right, like Avatar, like every time Avatar's been in the short list, been in the nominated in the category, like it's won.
Have you not seen Avatar yet, Malcolm?
I haven't seen Avatar yet.
Okay.
I mean, it was one of those ones. I've got no doubt that the visual effects is good. So I mean,
no, it's not good, Malcolm. They are great, and not only are they great, they're even better than The Way of Water. I will go on record, and I will tell you right now, the visual effects in Avatar: Fire and Ash are even better than The Way of Water or Avatar. That's how good the visual effects in this movie are. It's incredible. And I mean, I was just absolutely blown away by what I was watching. So take it with a grain of salt, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, but anyway, to answer your question, because I did look up the visual effects Oscars while you're touring, which has been when I found out that Avatar's won the last 2 times it's been nominated. The last time a Marvel movie wasn't in the shortlist was 2020. But then again, I don't think it was a Marvel movie that year anyway. So,
so there you go. So anytime there was a Marvel movie coming out in a given year, they got into visual effects shortlist.
Yeah.
Wow.
So although in 2017 there wasn't a Marvel movie in the shortlist either. In the second round of shortlists anyway, but Spider-Man: Homecoming made the first lot of shortlists, and then they got eliminated the second round.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Along with Thor Ragnarok, but anyway. But that is the last of the shortlists categories. But we're going to move on to the USC script nominations, which is done by I think it's some university's library or something like that. But this is all this is the nominations for movies that are based on books. So there will be some there will be some adapted movies that won't be here, but they're not based on books. So if that makes any sense. But nominated for the movies for the USC scripted, we got Frankenstein, we got Hamlet, we got One Battle After Another, we got Peter Hujar's Day, and Train Dreams. At least 3, maybe 4 is I think is probably going to be nominated for adapted screenplay anyway. So
Yeah.
there's Frankenstein, Hamlet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I think could all pop up in adapted, which I think.
No, I agree 100%, Malcolm. I've seen all these movies. They're all great, well-written movies. And as far as adapted goes, yeah, you're going to see a bunch of these in the adapted screenplay category. Yeah. Absolutely. Probably not Peter Hujar's Day, but if you see the movie, Malcolm, I will tell you this. Just listen to the dialogue. Listen to what Ben Wishaw's saying. Don't pay attention to, oh, okay, it seems like this is boring. Listen, pay attention to where the walking, where he's going, where the characters. It's so fascinating. It's so fascinating, Malcolm. I know it sounds weird. 2 characters in a room talking. It is the most interesting thing you'll see. And when you finally see Peter Hujar's Day, if you do, come back to me and tell me what you think, because I'd be interested in what you think, because I thought it was one of the most fascinating things I've seen in a long time.
But yeah, I think the adapted category, I think it's going to be Frankenstein, Hamlet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. And then maybe that 5th spot is going to be Wake Up Dead Man, because the Oscars do love Ryan Johnson and Knives Out. So Knives Out always got nominated. But yeah, and then the last guild that we've got before we get into talking about the critics' choice predictions is the Costume Designers Guild, which I think this is the first year they didn't have a shortlist for. But for the contemporary film category in the Costume Designers Guild, we've got Begonia, we've got F1, and I refuse to call it F1 the movie, even though that's how it's listed as in some places. One Battle After Another, Wake Up Dead Man, and Weapons. And kind of interesting that the Makeup Guild is considering Weapons and period thing, and this one's got in contemporary. But
this is definitely contemporary. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I think the way the makeup ones are, because I think they call it period or character makeup. So Amy Madigan would make sense for it to be But anyway, for contemporary film costumes, I think these 5 are all pretty good. One Battle After Another is the one that I'd like if I was to pick out of these 5, I think One Battle After Another is definitely getting nominated. And then
you got some interesting costumes. It runs the gambit, doesn't it? One battle, all those different types of costumes.
And then Weapons is another one that I think is potentially the costumes is good, especially with Amy Madigan's character for sure. But it's also one of those ones based on what else is floating around when it comes to costumes, because and we'll get to the period film. There's a lot of competition, especially on the period side of things. Moving on to the period film category, we've got Downton Abbey, the grand finale movie, Frankenstein, Hamlet, Hedda, and Sinners. At least Sinners, Hamlet, and Frankenstein. Well, at least Sinners and Frankenstein, I think for sure is getting into costume.
Probably Hamlet.
Yeah, and then I've heard a lot of good things about Hedda as well. So
the dresses are gorgeous. The dresses are gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I love the clothes. I always love the clothes in the Downton Abbey movies. You gotta admit, the clothes in the Downton Abbey movies are gorgeous, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't trying to say it was, but it's just one of those.
Aren't you a Downton Abbey guy? No.
I've never seen the series. I've never.
What? Oh man. Okay, never mind.
I mean, I'll probably. I do like period pieces. I'll get around to it eventually. There's a lot of TV shows I've never seen that I haven't got around to yet. Downton Abbey's just one of them.
Do you got Peacock in New Zealand?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Downton Abbey is available other places for us anyway. So,
I got you. Okay.
and then moving on to science fiction fantasy movie. For costumes, we got Avatar: Fire and Ash. We got How to Train Your Dragon. We got Thunderbolts. We got Tron Ares, and we got Wicked for Good. I think out of these five, costume wise, I think Wicked for Good is probably the one that's most likely getting nominated here out of these five. But it's also one of those ones it's one of those tricky things that if the Oscars are really high on header, I could see Wicked for Good maybe missing. Just for the fact that it did win last year, so they may want to try and spread the love and give something else a chance.
Yeah, well, there is something we can reference here. And before I get into, I'll tell you what, how crazy would it be to see like How to Train Your Dragon's costume? Because in animated, it's one thing, but then to take those animated costumes and put them on people and have them wear them costumes, how cool would that be to get a costumes? And then obviously the costumes in Tron Ares are cool as hell. You know what I mean? I mean, those outfits that Jodie Turner-Smith and Jared Leto and then Jeff Bridges. I mean, that's some interesting costume. It's not like, oh, it's the most boring thing in the world. You know what I mean? It's kind of fascinating. So that's kind of interesting that'd be cool to see either of those get into the costume 5, you know?
Yeah.
But what was I saying before? What was the first thing you mentioned that I was going to say something about? Damn it. In that group of 5, Avatar, there's no business. There's no reason Avatar should be in this. First of all, it's all computer generated. They're wearing dots and suits so they could put a costume on the people. That's not costumes. So why would that be in costume?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen Fire and Ash, so I don't know. But like, you've got the the military outfits and stuff as well, like out.
That's right.
Not just the Avatar ones, but
Good point. You're right about that, Malcolm. But what was it? Oh God, I said I was going to say something, and then I went to How to Train Your Dragon and Tron Ares, and then I was going to go back to it, and now I can't remember what the heck.
But yeah, but I will say it's like with the Oscars, like the fact that Ruth E. Carter could get a third.
Black Panther. That's what it was. Okay, Malcolm, I figured it out. Okay, so we get the Black Panther situation. Okay, we have Black Panther. We have Black Panther 2. Same director, same act, same people doing the costumes and that sort of thing. So you kind of have a situation where you have Wicked and Wicked for Good, where you have the same people doing everything for these 2 movies. It's almost like they're the same movie, but there's part 1 and part 2. Black Panther and Black Panther 2 were 2 separate movies, but it's basically across the board pretty much the same group of people working on these movies. 4 Academy Awards for Black Panther 2. Am I not correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, or Black Panther won 4 Academy Awards, but then when it came to giving the awards to Black Panther 2, they didn't do it, right?
No, Ruth E. Carter got the Oscar for
costume. There you go. So, okay.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones like that's thing, but but for Con forever, like I think I made this argument when we were that year when we were talking about it. It's like yeah, it's basically the same costumes, especially on the Wakanda side. But then you also bring in the Namor's, the Atlanteans and stuff. So you've got a whole different set of costumes. It's like so so I think, and it's one of those ones like there's a lot of difference in costumes in the sequel. When it
Okay.
comes to Record for Good, there isn't a lot of different costumes that wasn't in part one. Like depending on when you argue, like
The
Scarecrow
soldiers'
being
costumes.
costume or makeup, I don't know.
The soldiers'
But
costumes, you have Michelle Yeoh. She wore a few different dresses.
I
Alphaba
mean,
wore a few different dresses.
yeah,
Galinda wore a few different dresses. If you're going to split hairs, is basically what you're
yeah,
saying. Split hair. Okay, how close are these dresses in costumes to the first movie? Are they different enough to where they say, okay, yeah, it is different enough? The soldiers' costumes, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. Are there enough variation on
yeah,
the first one? And that's exactly what you're saying.
yeah. But going back to my point, which is not what I expected that to go, but it's like the fact that Ruthie Carter, who won like 2 Oscars in a row, like essentially in a row, for the Black Panther movies, could get a third one. But it's one of those ones I think there's a high chance Sinners could win costumes. If it, like,
There you go.
as much as I want to see Frankenstein win costumes, just because it is a New Zealand costume designer.
Oh, the
But
dresses on Mia Goth are just, oh my God, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Right?
but yeah, so yeah, so but that's kind of my selfish one. But it's like, but like the fact that Ruthie Carter is could get 3 within the span of like 10 years, because she's currently in that, she could like in that Goodwig Gunson situation where he was, I think he got 3 in a like in a very short space of time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. No, good point. You make a good point about Sinners and having Ruthie Carter back again. And those are different costumes, way different
Oh
costumes.
yeah.
So, and those are good costumes. You have to give credit. Those are good costumes for that,
Yeah.
what, the 1920s or whatever it is.
Yeah. But yeah. But there isn't any, I don't think there's anything that's not here but that I think should be here with costume rise. Like there's not really any major snubs and stuff, but it's just one of those ones like there's a lot of like good costumes in the mix here, and it's like I think it's one of the costumes is one of those ones where it's like I think it's easy to work out the 5 and but yeah.
No, I agree.
At the same time, it's also hard too. But
because I mean, once again, I mean, it's not on the short list, so because there was no short list, so you don't know if the ugly stepsister could sneak into costumes.
Yeah, exactly.
And trust me, the costumes are very, very, very interesting in the ugly stepsister. Think about Cinderella, and you think, okay, you put that together. That'd be a double nomination if it could get into costumes and makeup and hairstyling, you know?
But moving on to the Critics' Choice predictions. The Critics' Choice are tomorrow, so we're going to be predicting this. I'm gonna start from the bottom of this and move on way up. So going on to foreign language film. Nominated, we've got Berlin, It Was Just an Accident, Left-Handed Girl, No Other Choice, The Secret Agent, and Suat. Dan, what is your prediction for what's winning foreign language?
Yeah, it seems like there's this thing going on right now where everybody wants It Was Just an Accident to win in the foreign language categories because of what that guy has gone through, the director. So I would go with No Other Choice, my personal choice. Is the sentimental value in here?
I'm
sorry, I shouldn't.
Surprising, it wasn't nominated.
All right, so yeah, if my personal choice, I go with No Other Choice, but I think it's going to be It Was Just an Accident.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like I'm not the biggest foreign language film, so I haven't seen any of these movies. Plus, I don't think any of them have been released in New Zealand yet anyway. either. But I just went with the choice of it was just an accident, just because it's looking like that's where the that it's people are going. I think that's got the momentum at the moment anyway. So yeah. But moving on to comedy, comedy film, we've got The Ballad of Wallace Island, Eternity, Friendship, The Naked Gun, The Phoenicia Scheme, and Splitsville. I went The Naked Gun, partially because I think this is looking like I think that's the comedy everyone's talking about, and I think it's most people's favorite comedy and stuff. But and it's one of those ones I can definitely see the critics going for this. But Dan, what do you have winning comedy for movie?
No, I mean, I laughed my ass off. I don't think there wasn't many movies this year that made me laugh, and I laughed my ass off with The Naked Gun. I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. But if I had a personal choice, I'd love The Ballad of Wallace Island to win. But I'm right with you. I think it's going to be The Naked
Gun. Yeah, funnily enough, when I was doing my predictions on Gold Derby, there's a lot of these movies like 97%, and everything else like 1%. So it's like on the Gold Derby is like it's looking like a lot of them predicting around that top. But moving on to animated feature, we've got Arco Elio in Your Dreams, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Dan, what do you have winning best animated feature?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this category this year. I think it's a travesty that the best animated movie of the year, Deja 2, is not on here. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Zootopia 2.
I mean, for me, I'm going the other way. I'm going K-pop Demon Hunters. Because I do think like it's definitely between those two movies. Like I don't see a world where anything else is winning, but I think K-pop Demon Hunters, I think, is one of those ones that I think a lot of critics are loving. So yeah. But moving on to stunt design, we've got Ballerina, F1, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Warfare. And for me, this was kind of tough one for me because like I kind of struggled because like I wouldn't really think of racing movie and stunts going hand in hand, but then again, I suppose like the racing scenes and stuff is considered stunts and stuff. But yeah, but I'm kind of leaning towards Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I think for Tom Cruise's sort of last outing as Ethan Hunt and stuff, and plus the stunt work's always good in the Mission Impossible movies. I went for the stunt design. But Dan, what did you predict for stunt design?
No, I actually absolutely agree with you, Malcolm. I think your assessment of like the stunts are pretty freaking amazing in F1. Racing cars and crashes and all the stuff those guys have to do. That is pretty freaking amazing stuff. And then the crashes in One Battle After Another are crazy, and the stuff that they do in that are explosions and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think a lot of award shows and a lot of awards guilds are going to start to reward F1 with the best stunts. And I think it's going to win a SAG. I believe it's going to win a SAG too. I hope. So yeah, I'm going with that.
But moving on to visual effects, we've got Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Frankenstein, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Sinners, and Superman. Dan, what do you have winning best visual effects?
Now, Malcolm, can I ask you a question? We talked about the lists before they actually did the nominations of Critics' Choice, and Avatar was not on there. There was a voting, they could vote something in component to the Critics' Choice Awards. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Because Avatar, remember, that was not on there, and all of a sudden it's on here in the nominations. So there must have been a voting component where you can vote something in, like a bonus vote or something, because it wasn't on that list of potential movies. Remember, we had this whole discussion about how Avatar wasn't in any of the categories because they hadn't seen it yet.
I think that might have been for. I don't know if it was for Critics' choice. I think that it might have been for something else.
Okay, I thought it was for Critics' Choice, but Avatar all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones like, well, yeah. As I was talking earlier, like I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't win the Oscar, but it's like I'm still going to predict it to win because like it's kind of the big one that's the heavy favorite. When it comes to visual effects, it's like, and especially if that the competition is up against like I don't think anything comes close. But moving on, we've got best sound. We've got F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surat, and Warfare.
There we go. Warfare in there. How about that?
I mean, I'll be happy if Warfare wins, but unfortunately, I do think F1 is probably going to win sound here. It's like I did watch it for the first time, and it was recently. It's like it's a racing movie. The sound is great, and the sound design I think is fantastic as well. So yeah, F1. Dan, what do you got?
No, I agree. I'm just glad to see Warfare in the nominations. That's what I was just basically saying. I was like, hey, Warfare's in here. How about that? You know, Critics got something right where the Academy doesn't get Warfare in there, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm right with you. I think it's F1. Racing movies tend to do good in sound categories, and this had great sound. And I agree with you.
Well, I think ultimately it was the same when it came to Civil War as well, because I think Civil War got into a lot of Critics' Choice Awards there, even though it was left out of the shortlist of the Oscars. But moving on to hair and makeup, we've got 28 Years Later, Frankenstein, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, Weapons, and Wicked for Good. But for me, for hair and makeup, this was honestly really tough. I slightly went Frankenstein, but I do think like Weapons is probably going to be a close second. But Dan, what do you have for hair and makeup?
Yeah, without the ugly stepsister in here, this is a little bit tougher. I think the hair and makeup on Amy Madigan is amazing. But I think the hair and makeup in the entire film of Frankenstein is amazing. And it's not just one category. It's not one character. It's the whole movie. It's Mia Goth. It's Oscar Isaac. It's Christoph Waltz. It's all the people, the hair and makeup, and including Jacob Elordi. So, yeah, I would edge towards Frankenstein as well.
But the next category we've got is best song. Nominated, we've got Clothed by the Sun from Testament and Lee. Drive from F1, The Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Dan, what do you have winning this category?
I've gone on record already. I think it's Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. I've listened to all these songs, and I think it's the best song. That's all I have to go on.
Yep. But yeah, I guess you can say that Golden is going to go up, up, up. It is their moment. They are going to be golden.
Good job. Good job, man. Good job.
But yeah, I've listened to that song many times. I love it. But yeah, and it's one of those ones like I think if anything is going to potentially upset it, it's probably going to be I Lied to You from Sinners. But it's really. I don't think it's that close to this point. I think Golden's going to sweep the song categories. But moving on to best score, we've got F1 done by Hans Zimmer. We've got Frankenstein by Alexandre Desplat. We've got Hamlet by Max Richter. We've got Marley Supreme by Daniel Lopatin. One Battle After Another from Johnny Greenwood. And Sinners from Ludwig Göransson. Dan, what do you have for best score?
Yeah, I would normally go with Frankenstein here because I think that the score of Frankenstein's incredible. But because I think they're going to go with it's just going to be like a whole train down the line with One Battle After Another winning a bunch of things. Critics is a little bit different, though, so you never know. But I'm going to go with Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another here.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. I do love that score for Frankenstein. I don't have it anywhere close, just because I do think the score for the others are great. And this was tough because like I was tossing up between Sinners and One Bullet After Another. It's like I ended up just slightly going Sinners. But I think this is one of those ones that I think is really close to cool. Because I do think One Bullet After Another should win as well. So, but yeah, my official prediction is Sinners winning. But yeah. But moving on, we've got best production design. We've got the Fantastic Four: First Steps, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. But for me, for production design, I once again it was close. I just think Frankenstein being all original production design, I don't think there's enough new sets in Wicked for Good to push it over the line. It did win production design previously, but so yeah, Frankenstein I think is going to win production design. Dan, what are your thoughts for production design?
Agree 100%. Those sets where they're making the monster and the castle and all this kind of stuff, and his various different places that he lives and stuff. Frankenstein and Christoph Waltz and those different buildings and stuff. I mean, just amazing, absolutely amazing sets. I was just blown away by those sets when I watched that movie. That's something that's a standout when you're watching it.
But moving on to costume design, no, we've got Frankenstein, we've got Hamnet, we've got Hedda, we've got Kiss of the Spider Woman, we've got Sinners, and we've got Wicked for Good. Once again, for costume design, I'm predicting Frankenstein to win here, just totally not because it's a New Zealand costume designer, but it also but with with Wicked for Good, I just think, well, yeah, there's a lot of good like new costumes they've added into it. I don't think it's enough to beat Frankenstein. Dan, what do you have for costume design?
No, I agree. The dresses on Mia Goth are just right there. It hands down would win costume design for me. Those dresses are absolutely phenomenal. But then you're talking about the clothes on Frankenstein, Oscar Isaac, Christoph Waltz, and the other characters in the movie are just incredible clothes. All the clothes are amazing. So yeah, but just with Mia Goth dresses, I put her over the top.
Yeah, but I will say I think if Sinners does end up winning here, I think that's going to sort of show on what show how strong Ruthie Carter is for Sinners in costume design, and it could show that she's probably more of a strong contender than we may think at come Oscar time. So
good point. Yeah, nominations is going to be key with Sinners. How many nominations Sinners gets? You're up. What you hit the nail on the head, Malcolm. And that means you got to circle Ruthie Carter in costumes as a potential winner. You're right.
Yeah, but moving on to best editing, we've got F1, House of Dynamite, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Perfect Neighbor, and Sinners. And this is one of those I went One Battle After Another here because I think that that chase scene at the end, I think, was so well done that I think alone, I think the editing is just fantastic. One better than another. But Dan, what do you have for best editing?
Yeah, people give me crap for this, but I like the editing in House of Dynamite. But I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I think just that last third of the movie is amazingly edited in One Battle After Another. I mean, it really ramps up the tension in the movie, and the editing and the score combined and all that stuff is really just amazing. So yeah, I'm right with you. One Battle After Another.
Yeah, moving on to best cinematography, we've got F1, we've got Frankenstein, we've got Hamnet, we've got One Battle After Another, we've got Sinners, and we've got Train Dreams. Dan, what do you have for winning best cinematography?
Wow, if I had my druthers, Malcolm, I mean, I'd love Train Dreams to win this. I mean, I think it's some of the most gorgeous cinematography I've seen all year. But if they're going to go on the, no pun intended, the train of One Battle After Another, they'll probably go with the cinematography of that. I would love it if they could give Train Dreams an Oscar for cinematography. I mean, this award, but I think it's going to be one battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones I do think like One Battle After Another is definitely a strong contender across the board. I will say, but it's one of those ones like I do love the cinematography in Sinners as well, though. And that's kind of why I predicted like Sinners to potentially win here, because I think if Sinners is going to win anywhere, that's not sort of Best Picture. Because I mean, I think that's one of those cases where I think that's pretty much set in stone for. But
I believe, not to argue or anything, Malcolm, but I think that the party scene with them in the barn and having a party and all that, that's good cinematography. I just don't like the cinematography from the rest of the movie. I don't know. Maybe it's just me,
Yeah, I mean, but I think if they're going to, but I do think if they're going to award Sinners anywhere, I think like they'll probably give like Sinners cinematography. But yeah, that's kind of why I predicted it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
I mean, you never know. We don't know what's going to win.
I know. But moving on to adapted screenplay. Nominated, we've got One Battle After Another, we've got Train Dreams, we've got No Other Choice, we've got Frankenstein, we've got Begonia, and we've got Hamnet. I think I know what I remember what I put on here on Gold Derby. Yeah, it was there we are. Yeah, I went One Battle after another for adapted screenplay because I think the screenplay is good, and I think if something is going to upset it here, I think it's going to be Hamnet. But I mean, I haven't seen Hamnet either, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. It doesn't come out here until until next week, I think. But Dan, what do you have for adapted screenplay?
No, I agree 100%. I think you're right, 100% right. I think it's gonna be One Battle After Another, and if that doesn't win, I think it could be Hamnet. I think you're right.
Moving on to original screenplay, we've got Jay Kelly, we've got Marty Supreme, we've got Sinners, we got Weapons, we got Sorry Baby, and we got Sentimental Value. Dan, what do you have for original screenplay?
Well, it seems like a lot of people are leaning towards Sinners and Ryan Coogler. Well, what did you say before that, though? The one before that was the one I was going to say.
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme. If something wins other than Sinners, it's Marty Supreme, because that movie was so good, so innovative, so interesting, so original. I would love to see the screenplay for that movie get rewarded. But I think it's Ryan Coogler. It's Sinners.
Yeah. But yeah. But yeah. Like Sinners is what I predicted as well. I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet. It doesn't come out here until the 22nd of January. But yeah, I don't. It's one of those ones like with the Critics' Choice Awards. I wouldn't be too surprised if Weapons ends up winning original screenplay. But that would be a crazy scenario that I think could only happen at the Critics' Choice. But we'll see, because I know critics really love Sinners as well. So, but moving on to best casting and ensemble, we've got Hamnet, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Wicked for Good, and and I went one battle after another. I think like the ensemble is really good. I think the casting is pretty good. So yeah, this is probably the toughest category that I had to predict. Because even both Sinners and Working for Good, I think, are good contenders here as well. But Dan, what are your thoughts for film casting and ensemble?
No, I agree 100%. I think we don't know what it's going to do, what this category is going to be for the SAG or for the Oscars. So you got to kind of go with what you feel like it's going to go with, and that's one battle after another. And that's Best Picture. That's the Best Picture contender. That's the one that's sweeping there in a bunch of different categories. So you got to go there. Until you see something else, you got to kind of go with what you know.
Yeah. But moving on to Best Young Actor / Actress, we've got Everett Blunk from The Plague. We've got Miles Caton from Sinners. We've got Carrie Christopher from Weapons. We've got Shannon Mahina Gorman from Rental Family. We've got Jacoby Jupe from Hamnet. And we've got Nina Yee from Left-Handed Girl. But Dan, who are you predicting for Young Actor Actress?
Wow, what a tough category this is. God almighty, I love all these. I love all these, Malcolm. When do we have this category at the Oscars, man? I love all of these. Oh my God, this is an incredible category, dude. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I don't know who to go with, but I'm gonna go with Jacoby Jupe from Hamnet. I don't. A lot of people are going with Miles Caton, but I'm going to go with Jacoby Jupe from Hamnet. He just absolutely destroyed me. His performance at the end of that movie absolutely destroyed me. Or at the beginning of that movie, I loved him. So I love this category though. Wow. The kid from freaking The Plague. Oh my God, was he good. But and Gorman, Shannon Gorman in Rental Family, Malcolm. Oh, she's amazing in that. What a great category this is.
Yeah. But yeah, funny you should say that because I am going Miles Caton from Sinners.
I knew you were gonna go. I knew you were gonna go there.
But it's one of those ones like I think Jacoby Jupe, I think, is still like high up there as well. So
you put me on pressure on that one, Malcolm. You were interested to see what I was going to say.
Right. But next up we got supporting actress. We've got Elle Fanning from Sentimental Value. We've got Ariana Grande from Wicked for Good. We've got Inga Ibsdotter Lilius from Sentimental Value. We've got Amy Madigan from Weapons. We've got Wunmi Musaku from Sinners. And we've got Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. This is kind of tough. This was kind of tough for me, but it's one of those ones like just because it's kind of the one that I think that's where it's going to go at the Oscars too. Because I think she's kind of the heavy favorite at the moment. So I'm going to go. I think Amy Madigan is going to play out the win here. As much as I'd love to see Ariana Grande win, I think Amy Madigan's kind of got the momentum at the moment. I think she's been winning everywhere. So yeah, but then who do you have winning supporting actress?
I agree 100%. I think it's Amy Madigan.
But next up, we've got supporting actor. We've got Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. We've got Jacob Elordi from Frankenstein. We've got Paul Mescal from Hamnet. We got Sean Penn from One Battle After Another. We've got Adam Sandler from Jane Kelly. We've got Stellan Skarsgård from Sentimental Value. But Dan, who do you have for supporting actor?
Wow, this is a tough category, Malcolm. I got three people that I could easily pick for this. Both of the One Battle After Another guys, and then I think narrowly, like the thinnest of margins, I'm going to go with Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. He absolutely was incredible, and considering that the guy had a stroke like the year before doing this movie, and he had to have his lines read to him and stuff, and he still gave this kind of a performance in this movie and stuff. I'm going to go with Stellan Skarsgård over the two One Battle guys.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I kind of went with Benicio del Toro here, because I think I think it's one of those ones, because I think, really enough, like, I if I was if I was going to be a betting man, like, before I saw one better than others, like, oh yeah, Sean Penn's the supporting actor, Leo's the lead. They're probably going to be the two that's going to get the love. But it's like, Benicio del Toro has been sneaking up there a lot, and so I can see Benicio del Toro winning. And I think because I think this is a really one of those categories where there's at least four people which I think um, could win here, is I think you've got Benicio, you've got Sean Penn, you've got Stellan Skarsgård, and then Jacob Elordi, I think, is getting a lot of love everywhere too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins here. That's going to sort of lead on to a special start his momentum going into the Oscar time, which will make things really interesting. But moving on, we've got Best Actress. We've got Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. We've got Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. We've got Chase Infinity for One Better After Another. We got Renat Rensfev for Sentimental Valley. We've got Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. We've got Emma Stone from Begonia. But here I haven't seen the movie, but I've kind of just gone based on what I've been hearing. I went Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. But Rose Byrne, from I have heard, is picking up steam, so it could go one of two ways. Unfortunate for the others, I don't think the others have a chance. But Dan, who do you have winning Best Actress?
Yeah, Malcolm, I agree with you 100%. I think none of the others have a chance in hell here. It's a two-horse race between Rose Byrne and Jessie Buckley. I also have Jessie Buckley very marginally, very slimly ahead of Rose Byrne. We start seeing Rose Byrne pick up some things, I might switch the two going into my Academy Award predictions if they even both make it. You know, they probably will, but wow, they're both amazing in their various films. I've seen them both, but yeah, I got to go with Jessie Buckley here.
But moving on to Best Actor, we've got Timothy Chalamet from Marty Supreme. We've got Leo from One Better After Another. We've got Joel Edgerton from Train Dreams. We've got Ethan Hawke from Blue Moon. We've got Michael B. Jordan from Sinners. And we've got Ragnar Moore from The Secret Agent. This is one I think is kind of obvious just based on what I've been hearing. I think Timothy Chalamet is winning Best Actor. I think it's the one I've been hearing a lot. Once again, I've still got to see Marty Supreme, but yeah. So Dan, who do you have winning Best Actor?
Yeah, I'm gonna. A lot of people. Oh, how can you not pick Leo? Well, I think Leo's got an Oscar already, and I think it's Timothy Chalamet's time, and he absolutely killed it in that movie. And I believe the Oscars, the Academy, the critics, whoever else, are going to finally reward him. He deserves it. I believe he deserves it over Leo because Leo kind of splits time with a lot of other people in that movie, even though he's the lead. So I'm going to go with Leo. He really made that movie what it was for me. Watching it, and that's why it's on my top 10 list and stuff like that. Even though One Battle's my number one on my top 10 list, I did make Marty Supreme number 5. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Timothy.
But moving on to Best Director, got Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. We've got Warren Coogler for Sinners. Got Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein. We've got Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. Got Joachim Trier for Sentimental Valley. We've got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. Dan, who do you have winning Best Director?
Yeah, I think it's screenplay, it's picture, it's director, and it's Paul Thomas Anderson. He's gonna go home with a lot of awards. He better hope he's got a big trophy case or a room for his trophies this year. He's got to get a lot of trophies, Malcolm, and I believe he's gonna win here.
Yeah, I've also went Paul Thomas Anderson. I think it's one of those. This is one of those years where I think it's definitely looking like One Battle After Another is going to be winning everywhere. But it's also one of those ones like if it loses some things, then it's going to start showing that's going to start showing that maybe there's some cracks there that some other directors are going to sneak in. But at the moment, I don't see any of those possibilities yet. But yeah, so Paul Thomas Anderson is who I've got for best director. And then the final category has got best picture, got and I went one better after another. And it's one of those ones like, yeah, it's kind of the obvious choice. I think I don't really think there's anything else there that we're going to get. But then, what do you have for best picture?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, critics could do some weird things, but I don't see them going too far off the beaten path here with. And I think everybody and their brother this year has got it down to one battle after another. It's my number one movie of the year. I've seen people like Dan Murrell make it his number one movie of the year, and you know his reasoning is like, hey, you know, I like to try to do something different or this or that or the other, but I just couldn't. It's the best movie of the year. And as soon as I saw it, I mean, look, Malcolm, I predicted it last year, my early Oscar predictions is best picture. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is best picture. I mean, it really has the message and the acting and a lot of the technical aspects, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's Paul Thomas Anderson's year, and he's going to sweep a lot of these award shows. And so that's my pick.
But that is Gone with Films this week. But we'll be back looking at maybe Tuesday, because I've kind of got a few things on this week so looking at Tuesday for the next episode, we're going to be talking about the Annie Awards and doing the Golden Globe predictions. So that's all we'll have on the schedule, because that's all that's coming out. The week after is probably going to be a big one. We've got so I think we've got SAG, DGA, PGA, and then talking about the Golden Globes itself that week as well. But Dan, where can people find you online?
You can find me at my name, Dan Skipbound, on X, Instagram / Threads, Blue Sky, Letterbox, Facebook, all the social medias. I'm on there under my name or some variation of my name, DP Skipbound or From the Fourth Row. But also, I am the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic for FromTheFourthRow.com. I just put out my top 10 films of the year list on the 29th. So if you want to go to FromTheFourthRow.com, you can see my top 10 films of the year with honorable mentions. Also, my top 10 TV shows of the year with honorable mentions are on the website. Plus, all my Stranger Things coverage. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, that's on there. Plus, I got some other writers writing for me, and I got reviews from all my writers on there. So just whatever you're interested in, it's probably on FromTheFourthRow.com. So go there and find it and read it.
And you can find me on Tape Productions hosting Rankin every week. We're back this time next week, actually, with the top 12 movies of 2025. Dan will be there. I will say Wolfman. And I've got Brian and we've got JPO there this time around. So that should be a fun thing. And it'll be interesting to see what is on people's lists. You can also, as I said, we may Gone with the Wind will be this Tuesday. Talking about the Annies and the Golden Globe predictions, and then I pop up here and there on other things on the Movie Hero Network. On Tuesday after we'll do those predictions, I'll be on Movie Hero Network doing a Battle of the Bulls, which is Bull Paxton versus Bull Pullman. It should be interesting. And yeah, so that's
Malcolm. I forgot. I forgot two things. On Wednesday is my birthday episode of Battle or Movie Fights. We're doing my 64 after the 128. That we're doing that on Wednesday night at 9:00. So if you tune into the Movie Hero Network, I'll be on there. And also, Malcolm said I'll be on Rankum on Saturday, but I'm also on I'm going to be recording my episode of movie mutations, where you take a movie and you mutate it into something else, with my good buddy Jeremy Adams. So that'll be fun. So I'll have that out probably sometime later in the month. So stay tuned for that. I just wanted to mention those two things.
Yeah, but until next time, we'll see you next time. There's